Screaming and swearing at your spouse is not sexy. This is Dr. Dawn Michael with Bedroom Talk, coming to you from my bedroom to yours. And if you're in a relationship with another person that screams and swears at you, this is something that is going to make you lose respect for them. You're not going to feel sexy about them anymore, and certainly it is not good for your relationship or your health. Swearing and screaming at your spouse is unacceptable and it needs to stop. I've written several articles on this topic over the years. One of them is on Your Tango, and it's called Swearing and Screaming at Your Wife, but it can also be at your husband too. Or if you're in a relationship and you're not married, obviously it could be at your significant other or your partner. In any event, this is not the way to handle a disagreement. When you are the victim of another person constantly swearing at you and screaming at you when you get in an argument, not only can you begin to disrespect them, but you lose that intimacy in your relationship. You begin to feel bad about yourself, you feel bad about them, and there's this kind of hopeless feeling that happens where you don't feel like you're resolving anything. So what do you do if your partner is constantly screaming and swearing at you? Well, the first thing that you can do is you can tell them, I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And you simply walk away from them. Don't engage them. Once you engage someone, it gets worse. And if you really are in a bad situation, you have to do something about it today. You can't let it go on, especially if you have children in the house, because this is the type of atmosphere that they're going to think is acceptable when they get older and perhaps get married. And it really isn't acceptable to have this kind of tension that goes on. Now, obviously, everyone is going to fight, and sometimes things get heated. But if it's constant, where you're constantly being screamed at or you're being called names, this is actually abusive, and the person is being a bully towards you. Now, when they calm down, if they tell you, oh, I'm so sorry, I lose control, that's often something that will come up. You have to really think about it. Do they act like this at work? Is this a behavior that they do in public? Is this how they treat their friends? If the answer is no, then they do have control over it, and they're choosing to do it to you. So you really have to look inside yourself and feel like, I deserve better than this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Now, obviously, if you're doing things that are purposely upsetting the person, that's not good, and you should change that behavior. But for the most part, when people are the victim of a bully, someone that screams at them, someone that swears at them, they're just trying to get themselves out of the situation. So again, what you need to do is not engage them. Walk away from them. If you know a situation is going to happen where they're going to do this, then don't be involved in that situation again. And if it gets down to the point where you really are done with it, you have to make sure that once you say, I'm done with it, that you do leave. If you're going to give someone an ultimatum, follow through with it, because if you don't, they're not going to believe you. You can tell them that I'm going to leave until you get help. I'm going to go stay with a friend. I'm going to go to my parents' house. But the situation has to stop, because eventually it will affect your health, your self-esteem, and the overall atmosphere of your house, and certainly your sex life. It's not sexy when someone is screaming and swearing at you. That is a relationship killer. That's a sex killer. So if you happen to be the person watching this who engages in this type of behavior, you need to get help. You need to learn how to calm down before it escalates. Go for a walk. Don't interact with that person. Learn some communication tools. I mean, this is one area when I have couples that come into my office for counseling is I teach them how to communicate to one another. One of the ways is to ask the other person when you can sit down and have a conversation about a problem. And you sit and you talk about it. If one or the other escalates and it becomes personal, where there's name calling, that's it. Conversation is over, and you get up and you walk away. So that's one tool that you can use. Another one is active listening. So you say something and they listen and they may comment on what you say, and then vice versa, so that you're getting what you need to say out, and then maybe put it down on a piece of paper as to how you can resolve these issues. Bringing things up from the past and throwing it in someone's face, that doesn't work either. Making it personal as far as you did this because you're a so-and-so, or, talking about somebody's family member or friend negatively, putting you down in any way, shape, or form. These are all bully tactics and trying to get the upper hand and to silence you. And none of this behavior is acceptable, and you shouldn't have to put up with any of it. So I hope that you've gotten something out of this short video. Please leave your comments if you do have any other questions or if you want to add to this. And give me a like and subscribe. And understand that if you want to have a successful relationship, it really begins with communication that is constructive and not destructive. I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.